Some fish that seniors eat for heart health may actually increase stroke risk, and it can happen silently while you sleep. Many people believe all fish are good for circulation. But for adults over 60, that's not always true. Some popular varieties can thicken the blood, stiffen arteries overnight, and quietly raise blood pressure just before dawn when strokes most often occur. After 60, our liver detoxes more slowly, our kidneys retain more sodium, and circulation becomes more sluggish. That's why certain fish, especially when eaten late in the day, can trigger hidden nighttime risks. According to researchers at Harvard and the Mayo Clinic, not all omega-3 sources are equal, and some common healthy fish can backfire under the wrong conditions. Stay tuned, because one on this list shocks almost everyone over 60. Comment yes if you'd like more science-backed senior health videos like this. 5. The sneaky salted fish that thickens blood overnight. You might not think twice about that small piece of salted mackerel or herring before bed. After all, fish is protein and protein feels safe. But the danger hides not in the fish itself. It's in the salt that clings to it. Salted, cured, or dried fish like smoked mackerel, anchovies, sardines, or even that beloved piece of bacala can pack up to 10 times more sodium than fresh fish. And when you're over 60, that excess sodium doesn't move through the body as quickly as it once did. Here's why that matters. At night, the body naturally slows circulation and kidney filtration. Extra salt stays in the bloodstream longer, pulling water into blood vessels, thickening the blood, and forcing the heart to push harder. That extra strain can quietly raise nighttime blood pressure the very hours when strokes most commonly occur. In fact, a study reported by the Cleveland Clinic found that seniors who consumed high-sodium seafood at dinner were significantly more likely to experience early morning blood pressure spikes compared to those who ate it earlier in the day. And there's another twist. High sodium can also deplete magnesium and potassium, two minerals that help keep arteries relaxed. So instead of your blood vessels expanding while you rest, they may stiffen, trapping pressure inside the brain's delicate vessels. Take the example of Robert, age 72. He loved his late-night snack of salted sardines and crackers, a habit he thought was heart healthy. After several weeks of restless sleep and early morning headaches, his doctor noticed his blood pressure was peaking at 4 a.m. The culprit wasn't stress, it was sodium overload. Once he cut back to unsalted fish and added more hydration, those morning spikes disappeared within days. Here's the simple truth. Salted fish, though rich in protein, forces your heart to work harder during the one time it should be resting while you sleep. But here's the good news. You don't have to give it up entirely. Instead, try this. Rinse salted fish under warm water for 30 seconds before cooking. Balance your plate with potassium-rich sides like steamed spinach, avocado, or baked sweet potato. Shift your fish meal earlier in the day, lunch instead of dinner. Each small step helps your body release excess sodium before bedtime, keeping your nighttime circulation calm and steady. Here's the bottom line. For adults over 60, the danger isn't the fish, it's the timing and salt load. Keeping sodium under control after sunset can make the difference between a peaceful night's rest and a silent stroke risk that builds unnoticed. 4. Farmed fish with hidden chemical residues. It's easy to assume that any fish labeled fresh or farm-raised must be safe, maybe even healthier than wild-caught. But for adults over 60, farmed fish can carry silent risks that don't appear on the label. Here's why this matters. Farmed fish live in enclosed pens where feed, water, and medication are tightly controlled. But in many commercial operations, that feed is often mixed with soy, corn oil, and synthetic dyes, and sometimes traces of antibiotics and pesticides to keep the tanks clean. These compounds can quietly build up in the fish's fat and later in our bodies. Now, for younger people, the body might clear out small amounts of these residues fairly quickly. But after 60, metabolism slows, the liver filters less efficiently, and the body's detox enzymes lose a bit of power. So instead of breaking down, those tiny traces can accumulate layer by layer in fatty tissues and even in blood vessels. A 2022 report summarized by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health noted that some farmed salmon contained higher levels of omega-6 fatty acids and chemical residues linked to inflammation compared to their wild counterparts. Why is that important? Because omega-6 fats, when consumed in excess, can actually cancel out the benefits of omega-3s, the very nutrient most seniors eat fish for in the first place. Now imagine this. You're eating fish, thinking you're protecting your heart. But under the surface, that same meal may be feeding chronic inflammation, the quiet spark behind artery damage, clot formation, and eventually stroke. Take Marilyn, age 68. She grilled salmon twice a week, faithfully choosing farmed because it was affordable and easy to find. Yet she often felt bloated and tired afterward, with mild swelling in her fingers. When she switched to wild-caught salmon and limited fried foods, her energy and clarity noticeably improved. Within a month, her body wasn't overloaded with the extra omega-6 oils anymore. It was finally rebalancing. Here's what's happening biochemically. When omega-6 fats dominate the diet, they turn into arachidonic acid, a compound that can make blood more sticky. Combine that with age-related circulation slowdown, and it's a perfect setup for clots, especially during rest. But don't worry, this is where simple choices make a big difference. You don't need to swear off farmed fish entirely. Instead, just make smarter swaps. Choose wild-caught whenever possible, especially for salmon, trout, and sardines. Rotate your seafood mix in cod, haddock, or pollock, which are lower in fat and less likely to store residues. Add anti-inflammatory balance. Pair your fish with olive oil, steamed greens, or turmeric-seasoned sides. Buy from trusted sources. Look for fish labeled ASC certified or responsibly farmed, which follow stricter residue controls. And here's a little-known tip. Cooking method matters too. Baking or steaming helps excess oils drip away, while pan frying and added fat traps chemicals in the coating. For older adults, it's not about fear, it's about awareness. Farmed fish isn't bad, but some versions can quietly burden the body's natural balance. Choosing wild, rinsed, or certified sources helps your circulation stay cleaner, lighter, and calmer while you sleep. Here's the bottom line. The wrong fish fat can turn your heart's best ally into a silent threat. But the right choice, rich in pure omega-3s, low in chemical residue, becomes a natural protector for your arteries and brain. 3. Canned tuna, the mercury time bomb. Few over 60 notice. For decades, canned tuna has been a lunch staple, quick, inexpensive, and widely believed to be one of the healthiest proteins on the shelf. But hidden inside that silver can lies a slow-building danger that few people over 60 ever connect to their circulation: balance, or memory, mercury. Here's why this quiet threat matters more as we age. Mercury doesn't just pass through the body. It accumulates especially in organs like the brain, liver, and kidneys. And because adults over 60 tend to have slower detoxification and lower antioxidant reserves, even small, repeated exposures can quietly build up over time. According to the National Institutes of Health, mercury from certain fish species, including tuna, can interfere with how red blood cells carry oxygen. That means less oxygen reaches the brain and heart, and more pressure builds up in the circulatory system. Over time, that can thicken the blood and raise the risk of clot formation during sleep, when the body's oxygen demand naturally drops. But there's another layer few people realize. The type of tuna you buy makes a major difference. White or albacore tuna, the kind most often used in canned chunks, can contain 3 times the mercury levels of light tuna made from smaller skipjack fish. The larger the fish, the more mercury it accumulates through its lifespan. Now, imagine this pattern repeated. A sandwich here, a tuna salad there 2 or 3 times a week. For someone in their 30s, the body may handle it, but for someone in their 60s or 70s, with slower detox systems and perhaps a few medications that already burden the liver, that mercury can quietly add up. Take Linda, age 71. She enjoyed tuna sandwiches nearly every day, believing the omega-3s were helping her heart. But after months of fatigue, light dizziness, and occasional tingling in her hands, her doctor suggested cutting back. Within 6 weeks of switching to low-mercury fish like sardines and wild salmon, her energy improved and her sleep became deeper. This isn't coincidence, it's chemistry. Mercury interferes with an enzyme that helps red blood cells stay flexible. When those cells stiffen, they can't flow smoothly through capillaries, especially in the brain. For seniors, that can mean sluggish circulation during sleep and higher overnight stroke risk. And here's a subtle warning sign. Waking up foggy or slightly off balance after fish-heavy dinners may be your body's quiet way of saying it's overwhelmed by metals or salts. The Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic both note that adults should limit high-mercury fish to no more than 1 serving per week and ideally choose smaller fish, since they contain far less heavy metal buildup. But here's the hopeful side. You can still enjoy tuna safely with a few simple changes. Choose light tuna made from skipjack, not albacore. Limit portions to 1 or 2 servings a week and space them out. Add lemon juice or fresh herbs when eating tuna. Vitamin C and plant antioxidants can help counteract oxidative stress from mercury. Rotate with low-mercury fish like sardines, trout, or wild salmon. Stay hydrated, especially in the evening, to support gentle detox overnight. If you're watching your budget, even frozen wild pollock or cod can give similar protein and omega-3 benefits without the mercury load. The goal isn't fear, it's balance. Tuna can still be part of a healthy lifestyle, especially when you understand how your body's rhythm changes with age. The key is moderation, rotation, and awareness of what builds up silently. Here's the bottom line. The danger isn't in the can, it's in the routine. When your body slows after 60, even small amounts of mercury can tip the balance between healthy circulation and hidden clot risk. By simply varying your fish choices, you protect not just your arteries but your brain, your energy, and your peace of mind while you sleep. 2. Smoked fish and the nighttime blood pressure spike. There's something comforting about the smoky flavor of salmon, herring, or kippers. For many adults over 60, it feels like a refined, healthy treat packed with protein, rich taste, and that gourmet feeling without the guilt. But here's the hidden twist. Those smoky slices might be quietly raising your blood pressure while you sleep. Here's why. Smoked fish, whether it's salmon, trout, mackerel, or whitefish, is often cured in a mix of salt, sugar, and nitrates. These additives don't just preserve flavor. They also affect how your blood vessels behave long after the meal is over. When nitrates enter the bloodstream, they can temporarily alter the elasticity of blood vessel walls. That might sound harmless, but in seniors, especially those with slower kidney function or who take blood pressure medications, that shift can lead to nighttime spikes that go completely unnoticed. According to the Cleveland Clinic, these late-night surges can raise stroke risk during early morning hours, the window between 3 and 7 a.m. when the body's internal pressure naturally climbs. Here's the physiological chain reaction. The combination of salt and nitrates draws extra fluid into the bloodstream, thickening the blood. The body, already at rest, slows filtration through the kidneys, meaning sodium stays longer in circulation. That extra pressure has to go somewhere, in the smallest, most delicate vessels, including those in the brain and eyes. Take the brunt of it. For most people, the effects are invisible, no pain, no discomfort, but over time, the repeated cycle of pressure, rest. Pressure can wear down artery walls and silently increase stroke probability. Let's make this real. George, age 74, loved smoked salmon and cream cheese on toast before bed, a nightly ritual for decades. He felt relaxed afterward, unaware that this simple snack was loading his system with over 1,000 milligrams of sodium just before sleep. After his doctor suggested switching to fresh grilled salmon earlier in the day, his morning blood pressure dropped by nearly 10 points without any medication changes. The body after 60 is more delicate. more reactive, and slower to clear sodium and nitrates. What used to be harmless decades ago can now have amplified effects simply because our filtration and circulation systems have aged, and the smoke itself can bring other surprises. Some commercial smoking processes create compounds called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, the same byproducts found in charred meats. While small doses aren't usually dangerous, they can irritate blood vessel linings and subtly affect how arteries expand and contract during rest. Thankfully, a few easy swaps can protect your heart and still let you enjoy your favorite flavors. Choose cold smoked fish occasionally. Not daily, it's best as an occasional treat. Opt for low sodium or no added nitrate versions. More brands now offer these senior-friendly options. Pair smoked fish with potassium-rich sides, like avocado, cucumber, or leafy greens. To balance sodium, drink a full glass of water before bed. If you've had salty or smoked foods at dinner, it helps your kidneys flush more efficiently. Try baking or steaming fresh fish with herbs, lemon, and olive oil to capture the same flavor without the sodium load. And if you love the smoked taste, here's a smart trick. Use smoked paprika or liquid smoke seasoning in cooking instead of processed smoked meats or fish. You get the aroma without the pressure. Let's pause for a gentle reminder. Our bodies after 60 can't bounce back from dietary salt the way they once did. Even small nighttime increases in blood pressure can affect delicate brain circulation, the very thing we're trying to protect. But with just a little awareness, you can turn this hidden risk into an opportunity for better rest, steadier mornings, and stronger overall vitality. Here's the bottom line. Smoked fish is delicious, but for adults over 60, it's best treated as a special guest, not a nightly visitor. By choosing wisely, eating earlier, and staying hydrated, you keep your circulation smooth and your nights peaceful without giving up the flavors you love. 1. The most surprising healthy fish that may raise stroke risk. For decades, it's been called a superfood. Doctors praised it, nutritionists recommended it. But for adults over 60, one of the most celebrated heart-healthy fish can quietly raise stroke risk if eaten the wrong way, or too often. That fish is salmon, yes, even wild salmon. Now, before panic sets in, let's make one thing clear. Salmon can be extremely healthy, but here's the hidden side almost no one talks about. When eaten too frequently, or cooked in certain ways, salmon's beneficial oils can actually oxidize, transforming from anti-inflammatory protectors into pro-inflammatory irritants that stiffen arteries and thicken the blood. Here's how it happens. Omega-3 fats are delicate. They're easily damaged by high heat, especially pan frying, broiling, or grilling until crispy. When that oil oxidizes, it forms compounds called lipid peroxides, which can trigger low-level inflammation in artery walls. And for adults over 60, who already experience slower circulation and thinner vessel linings, that irritation can quickly translate into higher clotting risk during rest. According to research summarized by the Harvard Medical School and NIH, repeated intake of oxidized fish oils can actually undo many of the benefits associated with omega-3s, increasing blood viscosity and raising markers linked to stroke and heart strain. That means it's not just what you eat, but how you prepare it that counts. Let's take a look at Patricia, age 67. She grilled salmon on high heat 3 nights a week, believing she was fueling her heart. But she noticed that her fingers often felt swollen in the morning, and her smartwatch showed higher nighttime heart rates. After switching to gently baked salmon with olive oil and lemon, her inflammation scores dropped within 2 months. The issue wasn't salmon itself, it was oxidized omega-3 oil. And here's another factor: portion size and frequency. For older adults, too much fish oil, especially from supplements and fatty fish combined, can actually make blood too thick or interact with medications that affect clotting. When that happens, nighttime circulation slows, oxygen delivery dips, and stroke risk subtly rises. So how do you keep the benefits and avoid the risks? Here are the golden rules for adults over 60. Keep portions moderate, about 4 ounces the size of your palm. 2 to 3 times per week is ideal. Cook, gently steam, bake, or poach fish at low temperatures to protect the oils. Avoid oversupplementation. If you already eat fatty fish regularly, high-dose fish oil capsules might not be necessary. Add antioxidants. Season your fish with herbs like rosemary, turmeric, or parsley, which help neutralize oxidation. Watch timing. Eat fatty fish earlier in the day rather than at dinner to allow your body time to process oils before sleep. If you love salmon, you don't have to give it up, just treat it with care. Think of it like a fine instrument. When handled properly, it produces beautiful harmony for your heart and brain. But if overheated or overused, the same notes can turn harsh. And here's a surprising insight from the Mayo Clinic. Seniors who balanced fish intake with plenty of plant-based omega-3s from flaxseed, chia, and walnuts saw steadier circulation and fewer nighttime blood pressure fluctuations than those who relied solely on fish sources. Whether it's salted, farmed, canned, smoked, or even wild, every type of fish carries both benefits and risks. The secret lies not in fear, but in understanding the details. Too much salt, too much heat, or too much repetition. Those are the real dangers, not the fish itself. Here's the bottom line. The healthiest fish in the world can still backfire if handled in ways your body can't keep up with. By choosing wisely, rotating your seafood, cooking gently, and giving your system time to rest, you'll unlock the true benefits of fish protecting your brain, your heart, and your peace of mind while you sleep. Now that we've uncovered the fish that can quietly raise stroke risk while you sleep, it's time to focus on what protects you instead. Here's the good news: you don't need to avoid fish. You just need to choose smartly and time your meals wisely. For most adults over 60, the safest pattern is light, early, and varied. That means smaller portions, eaten earlier in the day, and balanced with hydrating vegetables and minerals that keep your blood vessels flexible. Here are a few senior-friendly swaps you can start this week. Replace salted or smoked fish with baked or steamed wild salmon, trout, or cod. Swap canned tuna for sardines or mackerel in water. Not oil, they're rich in clean omega-3s and lower in mercury. Rotate your meals. Try shrimp, scallops, or plant-based omega-3s from flax or chia seeds twice a week. And whenever possible, add color fresh herbs. Lemon or olive oil help reduce oxidation and balance circulation. Each of these small adjustments gives your body more freedom to rest, cleanse, and repair overnight. Because at this stage of life, it's not about perfection, it's about protection through awareness. Healthy circulation doesn't come from fear. It comes from knowledge and gentle, consistent care for the body you've built over decades. When it comes to your heart, brain, and circulation, the truth isn't always on the label. Even the healthiest fish can become risky when mixed with salt, smoke, chemicals, or the wrong timing. But awareness changes everything. Once you understand how your body slows, how your arteries respond, and how your sleep cycle affects circulation, you gain power. Real, lasting power. You don't have to fear fish. You just have to respect how your body has evolved with age. Eat earlier, stay hydrated, rotate your proteins, and most of all, listen to what your body tells you after each meal. Because your body is always speaking in your energy, your clarity, your sleep, and your mornings. If this video helped you see your seafood choices in a new light, tap the like button to support the channel. Share it with a friend or loved one over 60 who might need this reminder. And don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed, senior-friendly wellness stories every week. Stay curious, stay kind to your body, and sleep peacefully knowing your heart and brain are being cared for with every wise choice you make. Educational content: only consult your healthcare provider if you have any personal health concerns.